guys, today's video is going to be a little different because I recently crossed over 40,000 subscribers. Yay! I am so happy to have reached this milestone, and I only have you to thank. Thank you guys for all your support. There are a lot of new subscribers here. I've decided to do another Q&A video for you guys. This is a way for you to get to know me as well as get some of your questions answered. So let's jump right into it. The first question is, how did I get started and am I a professional? So I got started in cake decorating in 2011, and the reason why I became interested in cake decorating is that I wanted to make a cake for my son's birthday. So I took a few classes and I really enjoyed cake decorating. So I stayed with it and I've developed my skills, and I'm here on YouTube teaching you cake decorating today. Am I a professional? Yes. I actually make cakes and cupcakes and cake pops and all those good things for friends and family and other people that I know in my city. Next question asks, how do I know that my fondant is good quality? Now this is a really good question. I get this question quite a bit because my audience is very international. So the first tip that I will give you is to be a little wary of fondant that you purchase that is not in its original packaging. So if you happen to come across fondant in a market or some other place where it looks like the packaging, the original packaging has been tampered with, I would highly recommend not using that kind of fondant. If you're looking for a good fondant or indications of good quality fondant, what you want to make sure of is when you open the packaging that there are no hard lumps or bits in the fondant. You also want to make sure that as you're working with the fondant, you're able to knead it and make it really nice and pliable without putting a whole lot of effort and work into it. If your fondant feels like it's especially dry, all you have to do is take a finger spray bottle and spritz a little bit of water onto the fondant and then knead the water into the fondant to prevent it from being really dry. The next question is about fondant decorations. How far in advance to make the fondant decorations, and should they be completely dry before applying? Alright, so I've been getting this question a lot as well. So number one key is you do not want your fondant decorations to dry out completely before you attach it to your cake. If your fondant decorations are completely dry, what happens is when you go to apply it to your cake, chances are it will crack and crumble and fall apart, especially if you're applying it to the side of your cake. So it's very important to make sure that when you are creating your fondant decorations, you apply the decorations pretty much as soon as possible. I wouldn't wait any more than about 15 to 20 minutes because you really don't want those decorations to be dried out. Now there are some circumstances where you wouldn't necessarily want the fondant to be too soft when you apply it to the cake. One case is if you are making some kind of inscription or nameplate. You really want to allow that to dry just a little bit to the contour of where it's going on the cake. So for example, if it's going to the top of the cake, you would let that dry flat. If it's going to the side of your cake where your cake is curved, you want to allow that to dry on the curve. So you really want to be mindful of your fondant decorations and what you're using it for, but it's always best if you're making smaller decorations especially, go ahead and apply those within about 15 or 20 minutes of actually creating those. Next question is, how do I put edible images on buttercream? So applying edible images on buttercream is a really great way to place graphics or any kind of other images fairly quickly. The key with working with buttercream and edible images, you don't want the buttercream to be too soft or have too much moisture on it before you apply the edible image. And that is because the edible image can tend to bleed or fade when it comes in contact with excessive moisture. So you really want to make sure that if you're working with buttercream, you're applying the edible image onto buttercream that has set up, meaning that when you touch it with a dry finger and you pull it back, it's not tacky. You don't have icing on your finger. So that is the best way to apply an edible image to buttercream. The next question is, where do I buy bundles of cake boxes? So I recently did a video about cake presentation, and one of the tips that I give is making sure that you place your cake into a nice cake box that fits your cake appropriately as part of the presentation. So I like to get my cake boxes from a couple places. The first one is Amazon. I absolutely love cake boxes that have windows in them. So I've gotten cake boxes from Amazon with windows in the lid, and lately I've been trying out these cake boxes that actually have the window on the side, and I absolutely love them. They make for a wonderful presentation of my cakes. But I absolutely love the cake boxes from Bake Deco. It's in New York, and the shipping is really fast, and they have tall, sturdy cake boxes. Some come with windows, some do not. So if you're in the US, check that out. Worldwide, Amazon.com has some amazing cake boxes. Okay, the next question is about cake forms and customer related stuff. So my channel is geared more toward people who are just now starting their cake decorating journey. They're just learning about cake decorating. They may or may not be taking on cake clients on a part-time basis, maybe rarely, ever so often. So right now you will not find customer related forms or video content in regards to cake clients. Now I do have a YouTube friend named Carolyn, and she has an amazing channel. Not only does her channel feature tutorials, tips, and just full-on decorations that you can learn from, she also has some of those customer service and cake client related forms and that kind of information on her channel. So I've linked her channel in the description box below, so please go make sure you check out Carolyn. So that leads us into the next question, which asks what's not covered on my channel. While I do have a lot of great content for people who are just starting their cake decorating journey, there are some things that you will not find on my channel. So I don't go into a lot of detail in terms of baking, and specifically specialized baking. You will not find a ton of vegan, low-fat, low-carb, sugar-free content on my channel. That's just not my specialty. There are tons of other creators on YouTube who do a fantastic job at that kind of content. However, that is not really the focus of my channel. The next question is, what are some upcoming video topics? So I'm so excited about the content that I have coming for you guys in the next few months. I've been really paying attention to comments and really making a list of all of the great ideas that you guys have been sharing with me. And two topics in particular seem to come up a lot. So I'm definitely going to plan out some video content around fondant decorations, and more specifically, modeling figurines with fondant. The other item that I get tons of questions about has to do with whipped cream icing and all of the different things that you can do with whipped cream icing. So I'm planning to have some tutorials about working with whipped cream icing coming very soon. So the next question is, where else do I teach? Alright, so obviously you guys see me here on YouTube, but I do offer classes in my city. So if you are in the US, please reach out to me and I can give you a little bit more information about that. The other place that I teach is just kind of private one-on-one classes, and those are taught via Zoom to anyone worldwide. So if you want more information about that, please reach out to me. My contact information is on my channel page. So hopefully I'll be able to talk to you soon about that. There was one more question that came through, and that was for me to give some advice or some tips for self-taught bakers. The one piece of advice that I will give to all self-taught bakers, no matter where you are in the world, is never give up. Keep trying. There's going to be so much trial and error, especially if you are just now starting your cake decorating journey. And don't be overwhelmed. There's so much to know about cake decorating, whether you want to work with buttercream, whipped cream icing, fondant, modeling chocolate. Whether you want to perfect your baking and work on chiffon cakes and just different stuff, there's so much to learn out there. Do not be hard on yourself. You're learning a new skill. So just be patient and never, ever, ever give up. Okay, you guys, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below. And also, if this is your first time seeing me and you really want to learn more, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more tips and tutorials. As always, thanks for watching.